We did?
But didn't we do like top 5?
Yeah. Okay, we are live. All right, so yeah, we'll skip the. Okay, you know what? Just follow my lead, guys.
All right.
All right, we're live on second day of 2023. Um, I'm in California. Paul's in Florida, and in Omaha is our coach over there, our expert. So feel free to join us if you want to. I put the link up there. If you want to click on, I'll click you in only one at a time. If you have some things you want to say, feel free to leave some comments. And so far we've got 0 people online. So I guess all that work I did sending out a thing didn't work. Okay, Paul, would you like to get us started with our commercial? And I know she wants us to go a little extra heavy tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. So, hey, if you guys are watching this, I know you see the link there for Terry Sensi page. Look, this is a great opportunity to, do business with a fellow Hawk fan. She's an admin on our Facebook page. She works her butt off. She does amazing stuff. She always throws in freebies too. If you guys aren't really sure what is Sensi, for the most part, it's just stuff that smells good. These are wax bars, guys. So, and gals, we might have some gals watching. I don't want to leave you out. And, if you're undecided or undeclared what you are, you probably like stuff that smells good too. We don't want to be exclusive. We are inclusive here. And so, yeah, I mean, as you can see there, Dean's holding up one of his very manly football themed warmers. There's Disney products, right? So if you've got, if you like the Tinkerbell and Pinocchio and all the different Disney characters, there's tons of different warmers. There's tons of different themes. There's always stuff on clearance, stuff on sale. These things, the next big thing coming up, fellas, is Valentine's Day. You've done the candy, you've done the flowers. This year, give her the gift of scent. It's amazing stuff. Look, there's laundry soaps, there's fabric softeners, there's washer beads, there's dish soap, counter cleaner, bathroom cleaner. I mean, and you can get it all in the same scent if you want, or different scents for different rooms. There's so many different scents and flavors of the waxes, and you can get most of those products in matching scents with the laundry stuff. There's a ton of products. So we implore you, check out the page. Terry needs our help. She needs about another $1,000 for this year to help her hit her big goal. She's absolutely killing it, but we need to put her over the top. And if there's one thing Hawkeye Nation does, we give to the collective and we help. So go Hawks, go Terry Sensi page.
As a man that doesn't know a darn thing about that stuff, so if I bought me a Broncos one like his 49ers, how does it work? Like, what do I do?
So what you do is you pick your scent, whatever you want your room to smell like. You open it up, and inside is wax. And you just need one piece. You break off a piece, like one little square here. Boom. You drop it in. You plug in the warmer, and it melts. Now, the great thing about these waxes, too, is they are eco-friendly. They're pet-friendly. So, they're basically like made of all natural stuff. So even if you have a pet or something that happens to start like trying to eat it, it won't hurt it any.
So where do I put the wax at in that thing?
Right in the top.
Oh, and you just plug it in. You turn on the warmer like a lamp.
Exactly.
Yep. And then it heats up and melts the wax, the top part of that ball.
Yes.
Okay.
And gives a nice little scent throughout the rooms.
Yeah, and to clean it out, the easiest thing to do is once the wax is melted and in a liquid form, you can just drop in a couple like cotton balls. It'll soak up the wax. You just pull the cotton balls out, throw them away. Boom, it's clean.
Up that easy.
It comes out that easy.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Well, actually, when I wait for mine to dry, I just get a little spoon and it comes out one big hunk.
Yeah, you can do it that way as well. And one piece of this wax melted will melt for like 20 hours and still give off a good scent.
Perfect.
So
thank you.
Yeah. And if you want it to last a little longer than 2 or 3 hours, we suggest the Scentsy waxes, not the Walmart. Walmart lasts a couple of hours and then your scent went away.
And then it's gone.
And then keep in mind too, there is a phenomena where you get used to your own scents and your own smells. So if you've been melting something for several hours, it's not that it's not making that smell anymore. You've gotten used to it.
Mm-hmm.
So just keep that in mind.
Right. Okay, guys, we're here to talk about a little bit of. We want to wrap up the Music Bowl, Music City Bowl.
But wait, we aren't going to spend a whole hour just talking about the sweet scents of Terry Scentsy.
Terry's gonna ninja kick you, Dean, all the way from.
We'll hit her a couple more times before we're done. Okay. All right. So, oh gosh, dang. What did I do? I think I screwed myself up again. Anyway, I was gonna go over my Big Ten bowl picks, how I did, guys, but I did horrible. Anyhow. I want to wrap up the Music City Bowl and just talk briefly about it. And then we're going to move into what we think the future is going to look like. And honestly, looking at our defenses coming back next year and some of the offense we've got coming back next year, I'm so freaking excited that Jason already called it on the page that he 12-0. I was already thinking 12-0. But let's talk about the Music City Bowl first before we get into the future.
Right.
Should I get started?
You might as well.
Sure. Yeah. Go ahead, Paul. I'm sorry.
Right.
I always just figured you guys just jump in.
No.
Yeah. I'll give my opinion, and then Coach can tell me how wrong I am, which is always good. So, hey, Todd, Happy New Year, man. So, my initial thoughts are, one, we talk about the future, right? Apparently, Coach the Ferentz coaches, whether the boy and father, had no real interest in looking toward the future. Their interest was in making sure that they got credited for a bowl win. What we saw was just the same. It was just the same old of, hey, let's get a 2-score lead and just shut it down until the very end, when all of a sudden we decided to get aggressive. And I don't know if maybe that had something to do with Kentucky's players kind of being pretty chirpy all game. I saw a lot of pushing, a lot of just kind of, it's 21-0, and they maybe seemed a little bit on the chippy side. So maybe Iowa said, you know what, screw it, and decided to play hard to the end. I don't know, but it was kind of just the weirdest thing that if we were trying to get a good look at the future, potential future, I don't know. We wasted snaps using Sam Laporta and, instead of, Carson May, or trying something else. I don't know, but they just definitely seem more interested in winning a football game than trying to get second and third team guys in there just to give them a look. That was my take.
Okay. I do want to point out something when you're talking about at the end when they were getting aggressive, which they were, but they were on 4th down. They were still in field goal range. Why they didn't try a field goal if they were getting that aggressive trying to score a touchdown? What happened to the field goal try? Why didn't they?
Well, no, because they weren't trying to run up the score. It's just that's what Kentucky was giving them. I mean, if I'm going to be honest, Iowa should have been doing that the whole game. They had 9 guys in the box, 9 guys up there within the line of scrimmage. One time they had 11 guys that came across the line of scrimmage, and I was running back for a 4-yard loss.
Right.
They knew the only thing that Iowa, that Iowa's offense could really do would be run the football, unless they try to take shots deep. So I mean, I can't honestly, because obviously I wasn't on the sidelines. I don't know. But I think towards the end, Brian just said, screw it. I think he was being told to run the ball, and right into the teeth of the defense. The defense was right up on the line of scrimmage. Those deep shots were there the whole game, right?
They were.
And
they were there earlier in the game when they were taking advantage of it.
And if you saw how wide open they were, right? Even though LaBosse overthrew every one of them, but you saw how wide open they were because the defense of Kentucky was basically saying, throw the ball, throw it over our heads. Let's see what you got. And that, I mean, to me, if you looked at the way Brian was acting on the sideline most of the time, and even when Laporta went out there, where, he loves Laporta, he looked really annoyed when Laporta went in at quarterback. So, I mean, I don't know if he was ready for that yet. If it didn't look like he made the decision, but he looked angry most of the game, to be completely honest, on the sidelines.
Mm-hmm.
So, and
I saw that, and they showed a picture of him with Labus standing next to him, and Labus looked kind of confused, like, why am I here?
Yeah, I'd like to make the point, too, about having Laporta in as that Wildcat quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
We were already, what's the word I want to go, deficient in pass catchers, right? So now you're taking off, you're probably your best receiving weapon to play quarterback. When anybody else could have been that Wildcat quarterback and had Laporta to throw to, or he's also one of your better blocking tight ends, right? Like, it just, I could understand it if he was your emergency quarterback or whatever, if something happened to LaBosse, but to just that make.
Well, no, they were fun, right? They were just having fun,
Right.
And the score was already 21-0, right?
Right.
So they were just having fun, and I understood the first down call, and they got 6 yards on it. It was like, hey, but then they did it 2 more times in a row. I would say, come out, run your normal offense, try to get a first down, and then if you want to do it again on first down, bring him in, do it again. Do the zone read, because that's what they did. And if Laporta would have just kept it, but he gave it, and
gave it to
getting like 2 yards. If he kept it, it was wide open. So
I do want to
really read it. He just didn't want to.
I want to make this point too, because I was listening to some of these other Hawkeye video podcast things. I'm not going to mention which one, but people were complaining about, what's the word I want to go with here? The small number of plays that Iowa ran, that we ran like that middle tight end screen multiple times. It worked early, and then Kentucky adjusted and kind of snipped it out after they saw it 2 or 3 times. And we're they're complaining about this, but keep in mind we got a quarterback making his first start. That
yeah, but that
he probably didn't have a whole lot of plays that they could call. Like they probably had.
Well, they had
15 plays total that he was comfortable running.
Yeah, but they had him at the end of the game, right? I mean, he's been there a year and a half. To me, being our two full seasons now. Yeah. To me, no, that's not an excuse. I mean, he's not a freshman. He's a freshman when it comes to playing time, but he had more than that down. And they ran more plays than just that, but it just worked so good. And that's Brian's, I don't know how to say it, but it's part of his faults as a play caller. You guys know I love him, right? I love
he'll go back to that well a little too many
times. He goes
times.
back to the well too often when it works. And that's why you saw, when they lost 6 or 7 yards on that tight end screen outside before they started running the middle, remember how they'd have Laporta out by the sideline, which was the silliest tight end screen ever. But they've ran a lot more different plays. I don't know what, but I know exactly what you're talking about, because that's what he always complains about. So I know exactly who you're talking about. I mean, it's false. Does he go to that one play too many times? Oh, yeah, he does it every game. Yeah. He runs a play like that, which makes no sense. Like me as a play caller, even in the air raid, I'd still spread them out and I would still run the 21 dive, 22, and just keep pounding it if they're leaving me the numbers like 6 in the box, right? And we just keep running it and they can't stop us. We keep getting 5, 6 yards. That kind of play, I 100% understand. You just keep going back to it until they adjust, till they bring somebody in the box, whatever. But that middle tight end screen, once you see it a couple times as a defender, I mean, it's easy. It's easy to pick up. And the last 2 times he ran it, I believe both of them were incomplete, or at least one of them he was tackled right when he caught it, and the other one was almost picked.
Yeah.
So, no, that one of Brian's faults is he does these weird plays because they worked one time in the game. Instead of doing plays that make sense in my mind, obviously, right? In my mind, a play that would make sense Iowa style would be a running play. He'll have a running play just work a few times and then go away from it. Like, just keep pounding that son of a bee, until they prove they could stop it. But those tight end screens, wide receiver screens, those are so easy to stop once you see them, once, to be honest, because now you know your key. You know what you're keying on for that particular play. I mean, in high school, you can get by with running that stuff, but in Division I football, you can't run that exact same. It's got to be ran different. That's the Mike Leach in me, is he runs the same plays over and over, but they're from different formations. They come from different areas, right? So it's not the exact same play that the defense sees, even though it's the exact same play. And it's because it's coming from a different formation. So the keys aren't exactly there.
Well, I've seen Brian do it in the past. I didn't see any of this on Saturday, and I feel like when Brian is in his groove, you will see where we've run certain plays to set up something later in the game.
Yeah.
The play that really comes to mind for me is the touchdown against Penn State in the 3-4 game. I think it was to Nico.
Yeah.
Where we had set up that play much earlier in the game, and so when we hit it big in the fourth quarter, it was there because of I didn't see any of that. To my knowledge, did that happen? Did you see anything like that?
No, it was a very interesting called game. Like I said, I don't want to, I like Brian or whatever, but that game just felt weird to me because he was literally running right into 8 guys. Like I said, there was one play where they had all 11 guys up and they stopped Caleb for a 4-yard loss.
Is any of that on the quarterback to not check out of a play? Do you think he was under a no audible, like, hey, we're not doing any because he didn't have a ton of experience, or do you just think he I mean, I'll give Joey credit for this. I mean, he had one delay a game penalty.
No,
no turnovers, no fumbled snaps, no whatever. He had one semi-negative, and every quarterback has that. Goof up, misses the play clock or whatever. And I give him a total pass for that.
No, right, but and you could be right about the audibles. But I still don't get why you would call that play, considering Kentucky was up on the line of scrimmage almost the whole game, right?
Right.
That's why the beginning of the game worked so well. And that first drive, that first pass, the Vines was for 11 yards. Like that very first drive of the game, heck, I wouldn't have minded if you went back to that exact same sequence, right? Because the defense was playing pretty much the same. They were saying, Joey, beat us. We are not going to let you run the football. And everybody wants to blame the offensive line. They're going against 8 guys in the box. 6 guys, when you include the tight end, was blocking 8.
Right.
So, I mean, it is what it is. I would say spread them out and run the ball up the middle or whatever. But what I saw, it was just weird. I mean, it wasn't a normal Brian called game. I mean, that middle tight end screen, he's ran that all year. I'll give that. Which was weird that he ran it, like, I want to say 5 times. So I know what podcast you're talking about because he says the same thing every week.
I thought at one point, and it was. Did I see us?
You'll have to tell me in private who the podcast you're talking about. But anyway,
you know him. I mean, you know exactly who it is. But anyway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's thunderstorming, Dean.
What were you saying, Paul?
Okay. Anyway,
did I see us bring back the 2015-ish Ohio State strategy? At one point, I swear I saw we had 3 tight ends. We were doing like the 3 tight end. I swore at one point I did see that, and it wasn't even on it was like a 1st and 10. I swear we had like 3 tight ends, and anyway, it doesn't matter.
They may have.
Yeah. I mean, we'll probably see a lot of that next year.
On 1st down, I'm sure, but they should have just went down. Yeah.
They only threw to 2 wide receivers all day.
Right.
Fines and Rahagini.
I don't think
remember back in the day. I think Ken O'Keefe was still offensive coordinator. They ran a thing called the swinging gate. I think they did it a lot with Dallas Clark. They called it the swinging gate. I never figured out why, but they would always say, "There's the swinging gate." Dallas Clark up the middle, and then he gets yards after catch.
I remember
they would run Dallas Clark up to the middle where they would just lob the ball to him, and then he would make yards after catch.
The swinging.
Swinging?
I'll just comment on the swinging gate is usually the extra point.
Yeah.
It's when they line up outside.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they would call the swinging gate, when they would have just the kicker, the holder, and the center, and everybody else would be off to the side.
Oh, okay.
And then they would read the defense and see if they would snap it out to the
okay. I'm thinking of a different name for it. Then I'm missing the name, what they used to call it. But I always thought that was an interesting play, and it always seemed to work when Iowa needed it.
Are you thinking maybe
usually
like
on 3rd down or something?
Yeah, maybe like a jailbreak screen?
That could be like a jail. I think it was called jailbreak or something. But they always seem to use it a lot on 3rd down with Dallas Clark, and they always got the first. Well, not always, but they got the first down a lot off of that play. I just wondering why we don't go back to that sometimes. I realize it's a different offensive coordinator, but what the heck? The guy who had it in his playbook was on Brian's side for 2 years or 3 years. He could have given it to Brian. But
I'm not sure what play you're talking about though, but the throwback, I mean, they ran a throwback to Dallas Clark a lot, but they had Brad Banks, right?
Right.
But I mean, they ran the throwback to the tight end. You know what I'm talking about? Where they rolled left and the tight end was on the left, but he'd come like the game-winning catch that Dallas Clark had against Purdue.
Mm-hmm.
On the left side, they rolled it. You just turn around and throw it up to the corner.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a misdirection play.
Okay. Oh, well, I'm probably remembering wrong. I'm getting old and feeble, and like you too. Okay. Anything else about that game you guys want to? We just lost.
Hopefully we'll get him back.
Yeah. No, you're gone. We're all leaving one by one. Here it comes back.
I'm sure he'll come back. The other thing for Hawk fans that want to bash on the play calling or the lack of offense, really have to consider that's a pretty good SEC level defense, Kentucky defense. I don't think they had anybody sit out on that side of the ball. All of their guys who decided not to play, they were all offense. They were their wide receiver, their running back, their quarterback. I'm pretty sure they pretty much had their starting 11 on defense. And this is the same Kentucky defense that held a good Georgia team to 16 points. They shut out, I forget who they shut out, Youngstown State or somebody earlier in the year. I think they had four or 5 games where they gave up 20 or fewer points. This was a good Kentucky defense. I mean, they weren't good. and they weren't going up against the best offense when we had, Petrus in there. So, and we had, and again, keep in mind, we didn't have, our two best, at least our top two wide receivers depth chart wise. And then we didn't have Brody Breck didn't play.
And he didn't play, or okay?
I never saw him play.
He didn't play.
Yeah. Okay, so no, you start taking the transfer portal guys off from the wide receiver. You take out Brody Breck, and you take out our Petrus, Padilla. You know what I mean? Like, how many points were we supposed to score?
Yeah. Well, I thought it was kind of funny. When we got together, we had a family New Year's Eve party, and my one son-in-law who said that he was disappointed they didn't call him to come over and watch the game, and I go, okay, I'm sorry, but he goes, I see you guys won 21-0. You really handed it to Kentucky. Are they like a Division II team or something? I go, no. I says, first of all, they only scored one offensive touchdown. The other two scores were on pick sixes. He goes, no. I go, yeah. I says, we spent most of the game 3 and 4 and out.
Yeah. What do we have? We 0 for 14 on 3rd and 4th downs, something like that.
I mean, we were outgained by Kentucky and everywhere, but we got to where it counted. Scoreboard.
Yeah. And then that was probably the other big thing too. You have 2 pick sixes. That's 2 lost possessions for the offense. You just never know, right? But I mean, it is what it is. Those are 2 lost possessions for the offense. And because Torrey Taylor, again, was magical. I mean, Kentucky was starting with such bad field position of the entire game. It's like, for them to get a few first downs, all they were trying to do was get out of the shadow of their own goalpost most of the game.
Right.
So.
Yeah. They obviously missed their quarterback, their wide receiver, and their running back. It was obvious. But our defense really, really, I can't remember when they looked that elite. I mean, they've been solid all year, but that may be the best the defense has played all year, in my opinion.
Well, and, I mean, they were starting, I guess their quarterback was true freshman. I don't know. Ours was a redshirt freshman, and I thought Joey definitely looked much more ready to play than their kid did. He was athletic, but he couldn't read a defense, and he made bad decisions, and and boy are our guys just so well coached. We're just never out of position. So.
Oh yeah, they were. You know what? What my favorite moment of the game was?
Mm-hmm.
Guess.
X's pick 6.
No.
Oh.
I love that. I loved it. It was when Deuce came in for Kentucky.
Oh. And he promptly threw a completion right to Kirk.
Yeah, I noticed. Kirk, I just want you to know I'm in the game.
Right.
That's more than you did for me. No, I loved it. And then I loved the way during the celebration they had him going into the heart of the Iowa team, and the crowd, and just hugging and congratulating all the boys and Labus and everything. So there's no hard feelings with him leaving with the team. So, shall we move on and let's talk about next year, because I know I'm excited. Todd's excited because he's already wrote it here. I'm excited for next year. I don't know what we got coming back next year, and the way that Castro has stepped it up, and X is finally getting his groove on, and we got Cooper back. I mean, oh my God. And Schulte will be back next year, and
yeah, I mean, defensively.
Aaron Graves is a young guy to be excited about. Van Ness coming back.
Yeah.
If
he comes back. He still hasn't made that choice yet.
I can't. I'm sure he'll be back.
He's getting first-round grades right now, so.
Yeah.
Van Ness.
By the way, can I ask you guys a question? He wasn't in the game at the beginning. You guys know why? It was pointed out by the announcers that he wasn't in there. He came in eventually, but like the second quarter. So maybe he was suspended the first quarter.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, he doesn't start.
That's the thing. I mean, how is he? He's getting a first-round grade, and he's not even technically a full-time starter. I have a feeling he'll be back.
We'll see. First-round grade's pretty good money in his pocket. Pretty much guaranteed that he ain't going to get cut by nobody and get on a scout team.
I just don't see him as a first-round pick right now. I don't think he has. I mean, sure. I mean, look, I'm a Jaguar fan. When we've way overdrafted some guys, but
Mel Kiper has him going in the second round to somebody in the early round. I can't remember who, but yeah,
he's got a tough decision, but I'm sure we'll hear in the next few days what his decision is.
I think he could use another year of development. That's just me. One more year to get a little bigger, get a little stronger. Because right now I don't think he's not a pass rushing defensive end. You know what I mean? And he's not a big run stuffing defensive tackle. I just don't. Let me do it. Fellas. What's the upside?
Yeah, that's gonna be the legacy. That's gonna be the legacy. Anyway, Jared, I just want to say you said you have a bad connection. It might be on my end. I've already lost these two guys once.
Yeah,
and now they're back. I switched internet providers, and there for a while it was going really, really strong. I was getting 250 to 300 megabytes per second coming in. Wow. And now I'm down under 100 again. So,
I mean, you are in California, so.
Right?
Well, but problem is they're tearing down this orchard next to me, and they're building this mountain of wall chips that's blocking the tower now. The tower that my signal comes off of.
So they're tearing down the trees?
Yeah, they tore down every down. If you don't know how orchards work, they have to, after they overgrown and they stop producing, they have to tear them down and replant them. So now they've tore them down, and now they're chipping tree by tree in a big old chip piles.
Are those like apple trees?
No, they're almonds. I'm completely surrounded by almond trees.
Oh.
I got almonds to my left, up to my front, to my right, to my behind.
Jared, LaBosse will be number 2, and May will be number 3. I expect Marco to run the scout team. That's kind of how I expect it to work next year. LaBosse will transfer, my feeling. I don't know, not like I did with Hogan, but LaBosse, I feel, transfers next or in 2 years after, because you guys know I love Marco, right? I think Marco's going to be the number 2 quarterback in 2 years behind Cade. So I would think LaBosse would transfer then. I think May might transfer next year. So
did I hear
I think
correctly?
If I were May, I'd get out before spring break and get out now.
Did I hear correctly that Spencer wants to stick around like as a grad assistant to help get Cade ready to go, help get him up to speed with the offense?
Yeah. He might actually be a quarterback on the roster. So
that's what they want to do, yeah. He'll be on the roster, but he knows he's not playing.
Right. He may be a red shirt, if you know what I mean, on the sideline with the hat. Or a red hat, I should say.
Red hat, yeah, the sideline guy.
So
that's kind of cool because he does want to get into coaching, and this might be his way to step into it.
And I think he's going to be a great coach.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to be, over there going.
Yep. Yep, that'll be him. Although I always thought the number 2 quarterback got that job.
If you know the reference.
Yeah.
Little Varsity Blues there.
Okay.
Well, it's so hard being blind and using my phone. I don't have my normal camera this time. I'm trying to read comments like I'm in a real old dude.
I'm sorry about that, dude. I didn't realize you were on your phone tonight.
Well, it's not your fault, is it? Are you
no, but I feel for you because I wouldn't want to be on my phone tonight.
Yeah, no, it's all right. Everything's different on my phone, so.
Yeah, Jared, you're right. That first offensive drive, you could really tell that Iowa had worked hard on a scripting for that. To me, you know, they found a few plays that Joey was definitely comfortable running, and you know, it definitely looked like they were trying to get him comfortable in the game by making sure that they you know they had some stuff that and really like stuff that we hadn't really shown some of that, which was nice.
Guys, we have a celebrity on the show.
I do want to say something about Brian, because everybody in the world knew they were working on the RPO. I think he was told to teach the RPO, and that's why the media went with it, because they were learning the RPO.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't run the RPO one time during the game.
I noticed.
Just being petty, or was that they didn't feel sufficient enough to run it? I'm just curious if maybe Brian was just being petty and he's like, no, I'm not running that. Right? He knows that's what they're going to run next year with Cade. So I don't know. So that just has me thinking too, the way he left the field weirdly, right? He wouldn't celebrate with the team. He just went straight off the field. He wouldn't run the RPO. I don't know. It was all weird. I guess
something happened during the game. Something must have happened during the game, I think. That just teed him off.
I think it happened before the games even started. But he didn't look happy at all the whole game for the most part. And like I said, he didn't run an RPO one time, even after we explained it to everybody what was going to happen.
That was the whole thing. They watched our video, and then once we put out the trade secrets and everything. So
someone on the Bengals is getting CPR for over 9 minutes. That's not good.
Yeah, that's bad.
That is bad.
That is very bad. But you know what's not bad?
Oh shit! Bad time.
So, it really, I can't right now. Look, I'll come back.
Okay.
I hope the guy's okay, Terry. Keep us posted.
Yeah, keep us posted. So what else did we have on the agenda, boys?
Well, no, we want to talk about the future, and we haven't really talked much about the future. We haven't talked about our future quarterback, our future tight end, and the latest wide receiver we've got, and anybody on the high school level that we signed that can actually play next year.
Well, probably that Trevor Lauk or whatever.
Oh, Trevor's going to be in it for the right tackle spot. But somebody, and
Jared, I brought that up a little bit earlier, buddy.
I can't remember who the heck it was. I've had so many conversations today. Somebody told me that Iowa is going after an offensive tackle at Stanford.
I heard that.
I have a quick question. For anybody that's watching this, Hamlin that's getting CPR, was this the result of some kind of hit that he took? Or did he just is he suddenly dropping dead?
It's just not good.
Is he fully vaccinated?
Not even. I don't know why I'm laughing because I shouldn't, but
I told it as well. He said it's Damar Hamlin. Yeah. It just came across my phone. Mm-hmm. Yikes. I just put a damper on the show, fellas.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. It did.
But
it's hard to talk about the future at this point.
Okay, I just put the game up on my.
But I mean, Cade's already been told he's a starter.
I don't like that, by the way. I mean, I do and I don't. Obviously, you don't bring him in for a quarterback competition, but I'm not a huge fan of come here and it's your ship to steer. Like
I agree, Jared. Yeah. Both those
Yeah.
boys. Did you guys?
Right.
Did you guys hear Sam Laporta? Protect Brian.
Yes.
Like I don't.
I give him kudos for that. I mean,
What do you mean protect Brian?
I guess I worded it wrong, but he just
supported him. Showed him 100% support there.
I don't care what anybody says. Brian can coach, right? He just went after the haters, basically.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Speaking of, might as well, while we have Jack Campbell's name up there, we want to give condolences to his family and Jack for losing his grandfather the night before by getting hit by a car, which is sad. And then of course, of talking to people, I found out that I actually went to school at the same time as Grandpa did, except he was a year or two ahead of me. And so it just makes it all kind of sad because you never know when something like that's going to happen. And they didn't tell Jack until after the game.
Did he pass? Did that Hamlin pass? Are you guys watching it?
I've got I've got up now is the announcers, and they're just talking about it. They're not.
I just got a message saying that there's no way they can continue this game.
They stopped the game. Wow. He collapsed after making a tackle, according to Casey. Wow, this really took a turn.
Yeah, it did. This ruined the whole podcast.
Yeah. That's just, oh my God. Okay. They are going to try to resume play according to what I've got. They're going to have the teams leave the field and gather themselves and try to go back out and play. How can you do that when one of your teammates is, did he pass away? Is anybody getting that information?
I think we're just all trying to figure that out in real time.
Mm-hmm.
We'll take a break, and we'll be back from Cincinnati and New York after this.
If they were playing soccer, they would just spray him with that like magic spray, and he'd be okay.
Yeah.
So did he? So he made the tackle.
He made the tackle.
And then fainted or whatever.
Oh, wow.
This said, according to Twitter, Damar Hamlin collapsed after making a tackle.
Thanks, Casey.
All right.
That just sucks.
It sucks big time.
I got nothing left here, boys. I think we're all a little stunned.
We can end it or whatever and do another one on the future. Right?
Okay. All right.
Yeah. We'll definitely do that.
Okay.
Let me one more time. Hey, I know this is a little awkward at this point. If anybody is still gonna listen to the end here, we do want to encourage you to visit Terry's Sensi page. She's done an awful lot for us. It's because of her support that we've been able to be able to bring the podcast to you, and it's through her sponsorship, and we really very much appreciate what she has done and her commitment to us, and so we definitely want to return that commitment to her. So check out the link, fellas. Again, you're going to be doing something for Valentine's Day. She has gift baskets. She will make you all kinds of stuff. She always throws in freebies for Hawkeye fans and other people. So we encourage you to check out the link to Terry's Sensi page.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, everybody. Oh.
Went from wondering what was
Hold
going
on.
on to wondering about head injury.
Okay, they're still working on it, Paul.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Have a good
Good
night.
night, everybody. Good night.
His 24-year-old safety. And this is a Bills team. During the break, we watched Sean McDermott call his team over.